Damn, son, this beat is lit.
Another Major League Entertainment production.
Damn, son. Damn, son. Damn, son.
Wake up, world. You are now tuned in for another episode of the BKL Sessions. I'm your host, Eric Magnus. We got my man, Ronnie B, over here as always.
Sir. Yes,
and today, we have a very special guest. Matter of fact, our first female guest.
Oh,
And
I feel so special.
We got Delores.
Trouble now.
We got Delores Gray in the building.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed.
Welcome.
Yes. I'm glad to have you here. Someone,
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Someone of your caliber.
Oh,
You
thank
know?
you.
Yeah, you all over the place.
Yes, I am.
You are all over the place, and you are definitely a shining beacon and example for our black women.
Oh,
I want
thank
you
you.
to know that.
I appreciate that.
And
I really do.
Yeah, so man, and Ronnie was real adamant about getting you on the show.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
definitely.
This my partner right
Right.
there.
He was real adamant about getting you on the show,
Mm-hmm.
and I already knew you from your work, and it's a pleasure.
I'm very happy to be here amongst two kings. So it's a beautiful thing. I really,
Thank you.
I've been following your work too, and I just think you are awesome. I know I've told Ronnie B that as well as Al Porter, and and when I saw you finally, the one day I saw you at his radio show, and I said, man, I didn't get to speak to him, and and Al, so you'll see him again. I think I even sent you an apology because I didn't get to talk to you because I always wanted to actually meet you.
And I saw you, and I was like, I was saying, I was like, I did not get to speak to her.
Right.
I was like, stupid. Why don't you just open your mouth?
But it's just awesome, getting to, meet you. And it's just, I think you do a lot of great work. Both of you do. I mean, it's just wonderful. I'm very blessed to be amongst two greats.
Yeah,
So
glad
thank
to
you.
have
Thank
glad
you.
to have you here.
Yeah,
Glad
definitely.
to have you here.
Definitely glad. Got to give respect to the queens. That's something that's real important to me. And that's something where people that know me, they don't really know that about me a lot. They don't know that I support women too, as well as I, support men. I go to women events. I've been at women events.
You came to my event.
And I came to hers, and I wanted people to see that, that I do support women, and I don't just support only the guys, or I don't have, I have been, like I said, I've been to other events with women. So I just want women to just have their love and show them they props, give them their
Great.
props, and
Beautiful.
just let them know I love them, support what they do too. Women are
We're
important.
all in this together.
Yeah,
That's how I see it. We're all in this together.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the main thing.
But definitely our queens, we should be holding them up more than what we have been.
I agree.
Protecting them more too.
Yes, definitely protecting them.
Right. I do a lot of different speaking events, and one, I was speaking to women about how we carry ourselves in regards to, working with the men in the community. And, my whole thing, some people have said to me that I'm a male sympathizer. I feel like this, my thing is dealing with children, is that I feel that men should definitely be a part of children's lives, even if you're not the father, if you're not, being a great role model, because, I grew up with my mother and father. So I know what the roles are, and I know how my father got in my butt. Like, he was there if I did something wrong, and he was also there protecting me from, young men that were after me. So I knew exactly what, how a father role should be. And I think a lot of times, we get that twisted now. And, so I really feel that men should be even more involved if they can,
Yeah.
to help.
Yeah, definitely. Because me, I'm a dad and a stepdad. And my stepkids are my children. They're my
That's
children.
right.
And you have so many kids that that have fathers, but they're absentee fathers.
Right.
And have really no idea what's going on with their child.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always said that we'll call our stepdads because we step up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how I take a look at it. And like for as that my daughter had passed away, and so I have custody now of my grandchildren, and they're boys. So for my dad is like in his 80s, so it's only so much he can do.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's why I take them to certain places that have men that are doing positive things. They go to the hip hop workshop. They interact with Al Porter. I also have them. They interact with former councilman TJ Dow. People like that I have around them.
So they can see. So they can see that
male figure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna tell you a funny story because you see they both have glasses on. And so I heard them over talking, talking to each other about the glasses. And so the 11-year-old was telling the 7-year-old, he said, "Yeah, you look like that guy that be at the hip hop workshop." And I was like, I'm just listening. And I didn't even know they knew their names, knew his name. So it was so funny. And he said, "Who is that?" He said, "I gotta be rapping at the hip hop workshop." And then I said, "Do you know his name?" And he said, "Yeah, it's Ronnie B." And I was like, I had no clue that he knew your name.
Wow.
Didn't even know it.
See that?
I didn't even know.
See that?
And that's why I say you have to mind what you do a lot of times because kids are watching.
Yes,
Because
they are.
I had no clue that they knew who you were.
Yeah, I didn't.
And I said, "So you think he looks like him because he said, "Yeah, he looks like him because of the glasses." And I was like, "Wow." And then I just found it remarkable because that shows you that children listen and they watch and pay attention to things. So I thought that was quite funny. I was like,
I said that at an
man?
event that Black on Black had, and I went to the event and said that. I said it to Art McCoy's wife, and she just fell out laughing. She was like, "Oh my God, you do!" We just fell out laughing about it. I was like, "Oh."
so that was funny. I was like, "Wow." Yeah. But I'm very into working in the community and helping us. I have a women's program called Brick House Women's Wellness, and it's actually to teach women, to empower women to have self-confidence and to love themselves, no matter who they are, how they look, wherever they came from, what style they have, status, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Right.
It's about being able to love yourself. So I always say low self-esteem creates jealousy and envy in other women. And when you are proud of who you are and know who you are and love who you are, then those things don't come that fast of being envious and jealous of women. But I work to I want to bridge gaps, bridge the gap between men and women and how we operate. And I think that we need to work more together when it comes to our communities because I just came from an event up there on 79th and St. Clair in Umadot.
Okay.
And the gentleman that I'm partnering with, his name is Seti Richardson, and he has this program called RAW, which he does re-entry for men that's coming out of prison and things of that sort.
Okay.
So I partnered with him, and he was telling me, he said, "You really, we need women in this fight too, because there's women coming from these places as well that need help." So I'm just all for it. I'm just all in when it comes to my community.
Yeah, and we have to stand together in our communities because at the end of the day, it's us. It's us.
Right.
Nobody will care about us more than we will.
Exactly. True. No one. Right. And and that's the other thing is like, people don't. I'm political too. Okay.
And you can speak freely on this show.
Okay.
Right. You don't hold back. Please don't hold back.
That's
what you say. You can say whatever.
Well, I'm political, and I really hate how a lot of the politicians are here in Cleveland, and how they deal with certain things, and how they take kickbacks, and how each one grease each other's hands to get what they want, and
The disrespect.
yes,
Yeah, and that's what that's you know, and that's you know what, and that's why I've never trusted politicians. I've never liked them because it's one thing that I always felt, and you see it all the time. They only focus on pleasing those who help fund their campaigns.
Right. It's about integrity to me as well. Now, I'm affiliated with a few politicians, but these politicians that I make sure who I'm dealing with is they're on the up and up level.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's a problem.
Right.
So, for me, I feel that the politicians need to, step it up and, have some integrity. Because like I was telling a couple of them the other day, is that when you're out there talking, you're in a public eye. So your life is not private anymore, period. Because you are a servant to the community. So, you need to let people know. People gonna find out eventually what you do.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Whether you are drunk, or you taking a bunch of drugs, or you caught in a whole house or something, it's gonna come out.
It's gonna come home to roost.
Right.
And people talk. People
Yes,
talk.
they do.
People gonna talk. Whoever
People
knows some
talk.
stuff
Right.
about you
They
gonna
sure
say
are.
something.
They definitely
They're
gonna
not
talk.
gonna keep that in. They're gonna
Right.
expose you, literally.
Yeah, and
Especially
then
if they fall out with
And
you.
people live for that.
Yes,
They
they
live
do.
to expose somebody.
And
So
they go from one to the other, and then the next thing you know, and sometimes the stories may be a little twisted, but the truth is always there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's why I only work with politicians who I see that is trustworthy. And, and I've had some problems with one particular, can I say his name?
You can say whatever you want
However
on
you
this
feel,
show.
let it go.
I'm not a part of the city machine, so I don't care.
Okay.
No.
Well, I had an issue with Mr. Jones, Bashir Jones. He literally attacked me. Like, we were at the, I spoke out about something. I spoke out about the homes that were being torn down. And I stated that they were, that's not, he was online saying that, look at what I did in 30 or 90 days or something. I got the houses torn down. And I'm like, that's not true. That's not how that works. And so what bothered me is that, and it's not just him, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Even though he did that, they all do it, but he just did it on film, you know what I'm saying? Right. So my thing was, it's with all of them. Tell the truth. Stop bamboozling the community. You're telling the community lies to get that vote.
Exactly.
Right.
So, he was saying how he, and I said, that's not true. You didn't do that. You're bamboozling the community. So somebody, like you said, it gets back to somebody. Yeah. Next thing I know, I see him at a event, and I went to talk to him and shake his hand, and he literally went off. And so I said, why you don't like me? And, it's not like that. That's not what it's like. I don't know you personally to dislike you. I just didn't like the fact that you were telling people that you got houses torn down, and that was not true. Those things come about, it could be up to 10 years. It could be on the books for 15 or 20 years. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that's how it is, because they got to get the funding. They got to make sure, know that the owner is up on their taxes, because a lot of these abandoned homes are still owned by people, and they just haven't did anything to pay taxes or anything else.
Right.
So that's what the issue is. And sometimes it takes longer than normal to get the houses torn down. Only time you'll see an emergency of a house getting torn down if someone got murdered in there or raped and something.
Yeah, something happened.
Yeah. But other than that, if that owner is still got the house, paying taxes, they can't do anything, even though the house is raggedy and need to be torn down.
Right.
So, he just attacked me on it. And then after that, it just began to escalate into him even more. He doing whatever he can. He was using the the power he has to stop me from doing my gardens, taking away the land. And, it was just ridiculous. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know him personally. And when I went up to him, I wanted to talk to him, to see if I had a meeting with him so we could, so what? I said that. I'm still a resident.
Right.
But they all do it. It's not. It's not just him.
And it's not something that's not public knowledge.
Right.
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 Come on, y'all. Come on.
Right.
We know y'all all do it. Come on.
Yes, they do.
People just won't say nothing.
Right. Or they're behind the scenes doing little tricky things. So, you know, he just was more open about whatever. And, you know, it's like, at this time, I don't dislike him personally. I just don't like what he did, you know, because he didn't have to do that to me. Because for one thing, he could have had me on his team. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But it's like he was so caught up in, you know, whatever, you know, and I think people were going back telling him things, but it's, you know, you can't always believe what somebody coming back to tell you. No. Even though, like I said, sometimes there is truth in it, but, you know, other than that, but I was like, this is crazy to me. So I try to stay very neutral, but I do speak out about a lot of things, but I try to do it in a dignified way because, you know, you don't have to roll up on somebody and it's like, hey, what's up about that? You know, I don't do all that, you know, because I see a lot of women that are that way. And I'm like, this is not going to get you anywhere. No, and, you know, that's why I say I believe in the coming of the minds to meet and, you know, get things done. Yeah. That's how you work.
Some things can be fixed with a conversation. That's the problem. Correct. A lot of things never really got to a conversation. It got messy when you got other people jumping in it, and this person said something, and this person, and then the two people who really was involved never got.
They never get to reach
because they got people in their ear, and that person got somebody in their ear that they may trust and think that their word is valid. You know, and they'll take that on that person. But a lot
and that's
of stuff,
why I say that matter of fact, when I walked up to him, you know, that's what my intent was, to have a conversation and maybe I can meet with him because I wanted to, you know, do my program because my program will benefit, you know, was going to benefit people. I don't, you know, I've been hearing a lot of negativity, you know, with me dealing, you know, a lot of women, you know, be having a lot of problems with me. But my whole thing is that I'm the type of woman, it's like I'm not in competition with anyone. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm not grandstanding, as I heard that that's what I do. But my thing is, I just really want women, you know, and this came to me, you know, because I know what I've been through as a woman growing up. I know how it feels to have low self-esteem or to not love yourself. But to me, when I started waking up from that, I wanted to help others because I see it. You know what I'm saying? I see it in other people. So, you know, I'm not better than anyone. We're all in the same situation. I live in the hood. I actually like living in the hood.
You know, I've been, you know, I've been here ever since I've been here. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said I'm the son of St. Clair. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's, you know, naturally I want better for my family. Of course, when that time comes, it will happen. But I'm here, and this is always going to be where my heart is, no matter where I go.
That's the same with, you know, my heart is Huff. You know, I was born over there, raised, and, you know, and then I came back and, you know, started getting involved in certain things. And how I, you know, when I got involved, it wasn't because I wanted to. It was because when I had won this beauty pageant, and, you know, I had to do the pageantry thing and had my crown on and all that. So, you know, I got to meet the different people that's in the community. You know, I've always been one that's for education, you know, and things of that sort. But that kind of when I start seeing things, I said, oh, I see now what's going on.
Right.
And then that's when it kept playing in my mind every time I wake up and I say, hey, it's something I need to help with this. Right. So that's why I started getting that passion to be in the community and help even more. And it's just kind of went on and on and on from there.
Right. You saw what was going on and you wanted to do something about it.
Right. I want to, you know, just be, you know, it's right. And, you know, we all are part of a solution. Yeah. Within ourselves as well as our community. So, that's why I be out there, and I, you know, every day I'm doing something, and, you know, I'm including the boys in it because I want to show them, and I, you know, so that's what I, you know, do.
It's going to be important for them.
Right,
you know, and that's what a lot of us forget, that it ain't just about us. You know, we fighting for the people. You know, my job been difficult ever since I've been doing it. I've been doing this since the 80s. Some people just started in the 2000s with facing this and facing that, or just deciding to say something. You know, I had death threats at 14 from the Ku Klux Klan in Richmond Heights, and I was a kid, 14 years old. You know, but because I was because it was a different time. It was 98% white and it's 2% black. So it's not like it is now. So the odds was against me. And I'm coming into the era of hip hop when they don't understand what hip hop, when hip hop had all the problems. Right. Y'all accept it and love it now. But in the beginning, they didn't understand what it was. I got accused of being a cult leader because I like hip hop, because they didn't understand it. And then when whites gravitated to it, that became a problem. You know, I played it for some people that was in study hall, and it was like, "Oh, this is cool," you know. And I played the Beastie Boys, who was white.
That's one of my favorites.
You know what I mean? So they thought that they were black, and when I told them that they were white, he was like, "Yeah," and they was like,
I remember that in high school.
Yeah, and they was like, "Wow, they white." I said, "Yeah." They said, "White people could do this." I said, "Yeah, this is fun," and I'm telling them the dynamics, and they just thought it was cool. Plus, I was rapping, so I do hip hop, and they was like, "Oh, that's cool, man. You know, like it." Thought nothing of it. Kid went home and told his mother for Christmas. She said, "What kind of music you want?" So I guess mom thought he was gonna say some AC/DC or Black Sabbath.
I like them too.
Some rock.
Hey.
I know that's right.
And you know, those was what I was listening to, because I listened to all forms of music. You know, back then we had MTV, so we didn't have all the black. You know, we had everything.
Yeah, we had everything.
We just looked at it as music. We didn't look at it like white people music or black people music. It was just music for us, because those were the videos. We didn't have Michael Jackson and all them flowing. In the beginning, we had everybody from Michael McDonald and Doobie Brothers and Kiss and Van Halen.
That was the good stuff.
I used to love
Megadeth and Nine Inch Nails.
And that's like, I don't know if you know this about me. You know, I transitioned from rap. I have my own metal band.
Oh, really?
Yes, I do.
He does.
I like heavy metal. My sisters and me love it.
Yes, and matter of fact, you go on my pages, you'll see some of our practices and stuff. So
I like Twisted Sister.
Right. So that's embedded in me.
Right.
And you always love music. So it's music.
Right.
It's music.
That's why it's so interesting to me. I remember watching Run DMC and what's the guy's name? What's the name of that group with the
who did you talking about who they did
Walk That Way? Yeah,
Aerosmith.
Yeah.
Aerosmith.
And that was groundbreaking at that time to see that.
And rap and metal, rock always went hand in hand, So when I made the transition, and this is where I'm at now, and
you kind of look like you're a metalhead.
Oh, thank you. That just
He do.
He do.
I've been at his sessions, by the way. So
it's this group. I'm trying to remember the name of it, and it's a black guy, and he has the beard.
Wait. Are you?
And that's what you make me think of.
Don't tell me you think about Tech Nine and Strange Music.
No, not them.
Not Tech. He's rap, but everybody's
right. It was actually literally like a heavy metal.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of. I'm trying to think. And see, when you leave, it's gonna hit me.
Right.
When you leave, it's gonna hit me.
I like heavy metal. I like all of it.
Because like you know who DJA is, right? And he saw me in the store one day, piece to DJA, and he was like, I see you on your iced tea and body count. Right. And that was just like,
So you guys like Red Hot Chili Peppers too, huh?
Oh yes.
I never forget. I went to one of their concerts. And they literally tried to pick me, like the people in the audience. Excuse me. It was just me and my friend. And one of the white boys, they started trying to pick me up, and I'm like, wait a minute, hold up, what are you doing? And they was trying to lift me up.
Oh, they were taking you to the pit.
Yes.
They were taking you to the pit. To the pit.
I was like, oh my God. And it was just an amazing concert.
Yeah, and and that's what I'm looking forward to now. I mean, because by next year we're gonna be ready. And
shout out to Unrest too, though. Definitely shout out to Unrest. I love my brother. Slicky Sticks, you already know, General.
We matter of fact, y'all have the first single 40 years out.
Okay.
And then
Oh,
we're working
I
on
can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, and we're working on the album, which is called Unhinged.
Okay.
So y'all get that next year though.
Get out. You gonna get out.
That is so cool.
I'm gonna have a sneak attack in there.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna send you an invite to our Facebook page.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
Definitely, because I'm definitely like metal.
I would have never knew that you. See, that's the thing. You don't know.
You don't know.
You don't know, and you know. People always think that certain people don't like certain things and stuff like it. You don't know.
I grew up, my mom, she was a gospel singer, and she actually was, excuse me, she was like she was a background vocal for like the Staple Singers.
Okay.
And she was with Marva Staple was like one of her good friends. So my mother, she plays the piano by ear. And so all of us are musical because I play the clarinet. My one sister plays the guitar.
Okay.
My other sister, she's like more into painting and whatever. But the thing is that we were always introduced to all kinds of music. So I listened to Rolling Stones. I listened to the Doors.
Yeah.
And it was a couple of other, Rod Stewart and all of them, because my mother loved those people. So yeah, so we listened to all that type of music.
The Go-Go's.
So we were all into that. One of my favorites from the 80s was Police and Stinging the Police. I love the Police. And also, my mother was a big fan of David Bowie. So, matter of fact, if you look at my phone, I'll be playing it in the car now. And I know these boys be like, oh, gosh. But I'll be like blasting it. And then when I ride up into school, it's like a couple of ladies be like, oh, there go Braylon's grandma. She's playing this music today. Because they know him by my music. So
Okay.
I'm a big music person.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear the heavy metal stuff. You're doing it too?
He got some stuff. I'm gonna have a band play, and I got a horrorcore song.
So
shout out to Bushwick Bill.
So he wants us to
make the beat.
give him that
wow.
that beat, and I got a little horrorcore song.
So we definitely gonna get
some people have actually heard me say it, and some people was entertained by it. So it's like they're gonna see that side of me, like this dude crazy, but it's gonna sound crazy, but but it's all
music is like universal, so. It brings people together. So that's why, me being a Zumba instructor, that's why, I'm so into that, and, I love doing Zumba and listening to the different music and get my choreograph up and all of that.
Right. And that's cool. That's really cool.
I tried to get Mr. Ronnie B to do some Zumba too. Like I would go to the hip hop workshop. And, Al Porter would get up there and, we'll all be laughing, Al be like, I told him, so you're doing your two-step. So it's interesting, but
Yeah, Al gonna always do because he the host. So Al,
Al
have no choice but
to
he has
no choice.
You got to
Al has no choice but to do it.
I kind of like slip below the radar a little bit.
You trying to tip away like,
yeah.
Ronnie B, come in. Like, oh, no.
He just be in the background, either laughing or
because
making some jokes.
Because they expect me to commentate. They don't expect me to participate.
Got Rockets out there though.
Yeah. Dollar get out there too. Shout out to Dollar.
But he, brother.
You know, he had fun. She done had Major out there. Major
Oh,
Task.
yeah, sure
she done
had.
had I got a video of her. I think. And it's at the workshop
But
and people
see,
was just getting up. Rashiada, she done been up there. We done had different people, different people that do it. I think it's great. I ain't got my insurance paid up yet.
Yeah, that's a great thing.
I can dance, but I don't know about the
get
Zumba.
the rest off. And
I don't know if I'm ready for that yet, but
get the rest off. And,
Right.
Yeah, but it's good. I mean, I like to dance too, because we came from the breakdance era, so it was nothing for
I used to
us
break dance.
to put the cardboard
Didn't know
down.
that, did you?
Oh,
and,
wow.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
I'm pretty sure you did. If you was in the hip hop, you did some form
You
of
did,
it.
yeah.
Whether it was
The
break
pop and
dance,
lock and all that.
because I was always the popper. I could spin on my back and stuff, but I always liked it to, because I'm a fan of tap dance. So I was always a fan of using the legs. So I was always the slider, and I watched, like the Hughes brothers. They
Excuse me. I have a tickle in my throat. Goodness.
I love the brothers in the tap. I love, Gregory Hines, and I'm a big fan of that, but I'm a big fan of tap. But I'm a big fan of dancing, period. I want to dance. I was like second place in dance contest. I was like in third grade. Okay. So, because I grew up with the mama that's like, my boy could dance. My baby talented. It's 86 degrees. We stayed in the suburbs. We ain't had air conditioning. We ain't had no central air. Only central air we had is to go on central. We ain't had no central air. We had a fan. Mom. We had the fan going, and that's it. And when it's 86 degrees and you inside and everybody is dead, hey, look at my baby dance. So I got to pop log. I got to, do something to entertain them for an hour and a half, like 18 records, and my baby can dance. I'm about to fall out from exhaustion, trying to go back in the room, sweating to death,
That sounds like me. It's so funny. I never forget when you say that. Like, I never forget one year I went to Alabama with my family. And then my mother was like, hey, my family called me Lois. So they was like, Lois be making up her own dances. You should see her dance off of this one song. And I was like, oh no. Let's find that song. Let's find. And then, the name of the song was Rump Shaker.
Oh, Teddy Riley.
So
Teddy Riley.
I had this little move with my arms and all this other stuff. And then she had me do it. The dance. So show them how you make the move. How you do that move, right? And I was like, oh my gosh. And so I lived that too.
Yeah.
Every time we went, so Lois know how to do this dance. Show her how to do it. And then let's see if you got the record. Let's see, and that's how.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. And I used to be out there doing it too. Like, oh my goodness.
Because I was always a big music fan and my mother knew it. So I'm a big Roger Troutman fan.
Put me on the spot. I understand how you felt.
Yeah, man. I was always, and I'll be in the room, man. How my business.
She caught me singing one time, and she told everybody, "What song was I singing?" I was singing "Stay" by Jodeci, and then she caught it on video too.
Right.
I was in my zone. Right. And I know she was videotaping me singing.
Right.
I was singing KC's part.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
And so,
I
said, Mom, why did you do that?
Everybody want to be KC. They love JoJo. Everybody want to be KC. KC the most animated.
And I used to be thinking to myself, I don't like, for instance, when she made me dance off a Rump Shaker, that was inside the house. Nobody else was supposed to see me doing the elbows and whatever else I was doing. And then I was like, she wanted me to, she was okay with me dancing off. When I listened to that song as I got older, I was like, this was a raunchy song.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I told my mother, probably about 2 years ago, I said, that song Rump Shaker? She said, yeah, I remember that song. Huh? I said, do you know what the words really mean? You listen to it? And I played it for her. She's like, she said, well, you was dancing off of it. I said, you let me. But it was like, okay, back then because, it didn't mean anything. Right. But still.
Because back then you had the innuendos without it just being straight up nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we knew what it was. Right. But it's something you could play anywhere for real. Because Atomic Dog was nasty.
Yes.
They try to play like it ain't.
And Prince was just completely nasty.
Prince. That's my guy right there. Prince. And that's all I can say is
I went to Rucker Rendezvous. There was on Coventry, and I saw his album, and I bought it. Came home and I started playing this one particular song. I'm not even gonna say what the song is, but I put it on, and then my father come running in the house. What is that you playing? Take that off. And I was like, what's wrong with the song? Take it off. And so I did. And so later on, I said, oh, I know now why my dad didn't want me to play it. And my mother didn't, my sister used to have the picture with him with the drawers on it. I must have take that picture down. Right. You're not supposed to.
That's a controversy.
We were
and
we were in love with Prince. As preteens.
My aunt drew a picture of him, like his face and his hair on the first album when he had his hair flowing, and she drew it and put it up in the basement. And we was at my grandmother's house. She stayed at grandma's house on the 3rd floor, and I was spending my summers with him. So it one summer, grandmother going down the basement, to wash, and I was down in the basement, just had this little ball. I used to shoot it in the little box and having fun. And I just never forget, my grandmother came downstairs and she went past the first time. And she went past again. She said, what the... I know you ain't draw that. I said, I can't draw stick figures. I didn't draw that. You know what I'm saying? She said, wait. That man got no clothes on. I didn't draw it. I ain't gonna draw no man with no clothes on.
I know my mother was told my sister, look, take that naked man down
Yeah.
with them drawers on and some and women's high tops
The
boots.
shoes, the boots, yeah.
But we were in love with Prince. It didn't matter.
But Prince get away with stuff can't no man get away with.
Right.
Like if we put it on, we get talked about, ridiculed, cracked. Who you?
If I see you dressed like
I don't want to do it.
And and women look like we was disrespecting this man if we tried to wear anything like. I mean, he'll get laughed from now on. You know, they'll bring pictures of him every time you turn around.
I don't know. It was just something about Prince.
But he got away with
that
it.
look.
Yeah, he got away with
Prince
it.
could say anything on the record.
Man,
it could
man,
be as
Prince-
ridiculous as it sounds, but girl,
Man.
like, it sounds sexy. No, that's my baby daddy. We
I
have
know.
6 kids together.
Right.
You ain't never met this man. They're talking about you got 6 kids by this man.
And you
know,
losing your and they losing their mind.
They rewinding it.
Yeah,
All
I
his
went
videos.
to I went to
videos,
like 3
bro.
of his concerts. So,
Yeah.
and my sister would always disappear because she used to be trying to get to the front.
Right.
But we were like, we made sure that we got to a Prince concert, even when we weren't supposed to be there.
Because that's back when concerts was concerts. You would break your neck
Right.
trying to get to a concert.
I love Prince.
Yeah.
He's like my favorite artist. Like
Prince was a genius.
Definitely.
yes, he was.
Definitely.
Multiple
Definitely.
instruments.
Yes.
Man, I used to just love just watching him play all the instruments.
Right.
Like,
And his vision for songs
yeah.
and stuff was just,
Like, man, like I said,
You know.
just genius.
Yes.
you know, because Purple Rain was our movie.
Man, yes.
You know, I remember watching, you know, it's VHS for us. So,
Man,
you know,
yeah.
I put it in with my sisters, you know. Of course, they love Prince, and I was a Prince fan, but, you know, I thought Morris Day, I always had a fan of dudes that was cool.
the
So I
time.
liked
time.
Morris.
Oh, yeah,
So,
Morris.
You know, Morris was just so
Morris
cool.
was like,
He
yeah.
just super
Morris
cool.
was
He
that
was
player.
flying. He had the
You know what I'm
glasses,
saying?
and, you know.
And it was like,
Yeah, you know, I like cool dudes. So,
and
you know.
plus Morris reminded me of my father. So it was like, man.
Yeah, you know, and I
That one
remember
song,
just
Don't
watching
Wait
it.
for Me.
Yeah. Morris Day,
Yeah,
when he
they're
went
cool.
solo,
Yeah.
And people forget that he went solo and had success and had slow songs. They always know him for his dancing, but they
Right.
forget that he had slow stuff. You know, Gigolos Get Lonely too
Yeah.
and stuff
Yeah.
like that. They so
had
used to
a-
him dancing with Jerome.
I'm
But
gonna tell you something funny about that song. I have a cousin. He got married. They got married in their backyard, and the song, you know, she walked down the aisle with like some females, and then him and his boy, they came down the aisle with white top with the white suits on, top hat, and canes to Gigolos Get Lonely too. And my uncle was like, "What the hell is going on here? How the hell you gonna walk down to Gigolos Get Lonely too and you getting married, dude?" It was the funniest thing, and we were all just kind of like, "Wow." But they pulled it off. They're still married to this day.
right.
But that song is stuck in my head because of that.
Because of that.
Because of that situation. It was interesting.
Yeah, that's what music is. Music,
Right.
music. You always remember where you were at some point in your life when you hear certain songs. And music for me is a time machine.
So what do you gentlemen think about some of the new music? With like I've been listening to a few of the new songs by Saweetie and the other one, Mulatto.
I love me some mulatto.
Really?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
I like the song she has out now.
Because, you know, that's
With
when we
the,
fell in love with her with Jermaine Dupri. So,
What is the name? It's the background music is the Genius of Love.
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
So I was like, hey, I like this. I'm going to put that in my Zumba routine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's certain artists
It's
you
certain
know,
artists that are.
are
So what do you
good, that
guys
have
think
good
about
craft,
Lizzo?
you know.
Lizzo, I applaud the sister. She's brave, and she's comfortable in the
Her own
skin.
skin, I was
she's
just
in.
going to say that.
And to me, she's beautiful.
That's my girl. I love Lizzo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's,
I was
tell
listening to
people
her
they
before
gotta
she-
do it the way they see it.
Right. I was listening to Lizzo before she became when she was underground, and I used to they used to show some of those videos on those off name type channels or whatever, and I never forget my mother was watching her. My mother said, "Who is that girl?" So that's what made me we were listening to her music, and I said, "Oh, I like her. She gonna be number one soon." And the next thing I know, she blew up. So
Yeah.
I love that song Juice.
Yeah. And she, and I love artists that don't let the masses define them.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I like them against the grain.
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah,
I
those
love
like my
anybody that's against, because I'm an against the grain.
Me too.
So
Me too. So
I anything that is not the norm. That's why I like Public Enemy, because they was against the grain.
I love
You know?
Public Enemy.
yes.
I like the KRS because he was
Yes.
against the grain.
Yes.
I liked all the X Clan and and then even the people who was brave enough to put themselves out to be ridiculed, like Biz Markie. But Biz Markie could flow. Biz Markie
Biz
had
was
flow
great.
for real.
Yes, he
Biz
was.
was an
Great.
artist for real.
Biz was
like
great.
even though he
Yes,
gets to
he
acting
was.
silly, but Biz was a
But
great
it worked.
artist.
But it worked, and he still
Yes.
made it work.
Worked.
So
and
you know,
you can see
yeah.
that nobody could do that but Biz. Like,
Right.
like when somebody else do it, you be like, oh, that's corny. But
Yeah.
Biz could
But
do
when
it.
Biz do it.
You be like, that's Biz. You be entertained. You be cracking up. You be
Yeah,
like, that's
yes,
Biz though.
yes.
You be like, but that's Biz. Like you can't see nobody else. You
Doing
know.
it. Nah.
When I first listened to Will Smith, I told people, I said he gonna sneak in under the radar, and they was laughing because he had Girls of the World Ain't Nothing But Trouble. But see, I knew the words because I. Used
That
to
was a
listen
true
to-
song, though.
It
So
was a true song.
I felt that.
You
So
know,
man,
and I
Wow.
said he would be the person that he would make something funny, but it would be serious. And I was looking at that like, you know what? I kind of like that. Giving them some little knowledge while you're making them
Right,
laugh at the
right.
same time. And that kind of was like a formula I always
He was
adapted
he
to.
was the good boy of rap.
Yeah.
yes, he was.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
That's what he.
And you had
he
good
was.
boys of rap that was actually gangsters.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
But they didn't bring their street cred. They came
Right.
with something, and some of them you
Yeah.
looked at and he was
Well,
like,
LL Cool
what
J
you
be part of
mean?
that?
You would. Because, but see, the thing of it is, if people watch the podcast of Drink Champs, LL said, I'm not a gangster, but I stayed in the hood with gangsters. Like,
Right.
L wasn't the drug dealing dude.
No, L
you know what I
wasn't.
mean? But he was friends with the drug dealers that we revere. LL
Right.
was friends with Fat Cat and all them dudes
Yeah.
that they made movies and documentaries with. Like, he not being fake. He was the little kid, and they was the OGs that protected L. L just happened to stay in the neighborhood where these dudes were like
Right.
hood famous guys.
Right.
But like he say, I wasn't trying to be the drug dealing dude. I liked it the girls.
Right.
I was an athlete. He could play
Right.
football and do all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
That's
so-
how he
guys
got that
do.
name, LL
Yeah,
Cool
But
J.
he was. But don't get it twisted.
But
LL could box.
that's-
Ladies
he can
love
wear-
Cool
yeah,
J.
and
He
that
got
lyrical,
hands.
and that
And
lyrical,
Yes,
he lyrical.
he'll eat you alive.
He'll eat you alive. And
That's what I loved about
and
it.
it's rough. Karis One is rough.
Oh, yeah, I
Another
love
rough
KRS
dude who
One.
was homeless. Straight up with the streets, but he always took it and gave us something. He'd give us the street rough KRS, but he gave us the stuff that
He
we
was
could
very,
listen to
he
and
was a
get
very
knowledge out of.
intellectual
Yeah.
man.
Edutainment when he
Yeah.
came with. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
always knowledge.
Right.
always
All-
knowledgeable.
always.
Great craft works. Even if people be like, oh, I think he fell off. No, he still
No,
made
no, he
albums.
still-
That's
yeah.
just because you ain't heard none of his albums.
Right.
He's still been the same
And
KRS for every album.
he ain't with the industry machine.
No, he's not.
And so yeah,
So
man
he
still
against the
makes
grain,
it
and that's
right.
what I always like people. I like Tech Nine, who was just like, look, I'm
Yes.
gonna just do this.
Yes.
I like the guys like Slim Thug that just was like, look, I'm gonna be on the underground and be rich, but I'm gonna do it the way I want to do it. Do it the way you see it. You don't have to do as everybody else do.
Right.
Because like I always tell this story, it's been plenty of times I could have took blood money. I could have just said, well, let me just do this to go with that. But see, my whole thing is I've always been against the grain because I felt like this. Us as hip hop or us as entertainers or whatever, that's all we got, a lot of us. For me, hip hop was everything. Words is everything. My mother was a poet, and she would perform. So when I seen her get the claps and how people were so fascinated by words, I was fascinated always by words. So I seen her do it. So she started to teach me words. So when I got into hip hop, my first notion was I just always wanted to be authentic. No matter what I talked about, whether positive or negative, I always wanted to be authentic. And it was authenticated because you're going to be around fans. I didn't want to be the kind of person that I come out and I say something. They be like, man, this dude ain't never been in trouble a day living. I didn't want that. Even though some people made a living off of being fake and stuff. I just didn't want that because you got to look yourself in the mirror. And if I get an award, I want to get an award because I earned that award. Not because I got it fraudulently, because I was trying to be somebody else and I got this Grammy sitting all on my thing and I'm patting myself on the back and I'm like, I really don't deserve that because I was being fake. I understand that this is entertainment and you can do what you do. But I looked at it like I just always wanted to be authentic because I never wanted to come off as the good boy because I wasn't. You know, even the people that looked at me was like, oh yeah, you mama's boy, you this, that, and the third. I'm like, but you don't know. If you retrace history and take a look, I wasn't no good boy in elementary. I wasn't a good boy in 7th grade, the 8th grade, or even going in the streets or even going through, high school. But I'm always been hip hop. So I always like, if I freestyle and I say I punch you in the face, you can validate, because there's somebody that knows me be like, I remember one day, man, Ronnie B, man, he got into it with this dude. You know what I'm saying? Somebody knows that I did that. And I say that to say this because I'm so serious about hip hop to when I was on stage at school, and this is a school talent show. It's the second to the last show I ever did at school. And I remember my music was messed up. I had a rap partner, Almighty LJ. Shout out to Lionel Jones, Almighty LJ. I love you, man. He stayed with me through thick and thin. Best rap partner ever. And I remember him doing his verse, and when it got to me, the tape cut off. And somebody rewound all the way back to our entrance music. And I was mad because it was like 800 and something people. I was sitting there like, man, you gotta be kidding. And we just got embarrassed. And it was a girl that I liked too, and she had my shirt on. I'm like, man, I just got embarrassed in front of 800 and something people. This girl got my shirt on.
You act up with a woman around.
Yeah, I got embarrassed, and all this type of stuff. And I remember somebody saying, hey, it's a dude in the sound booth. And I looked, and it was a guy that he rapped too, but he had manufactured this beef against me. Like I ain't had nothing against the dude because I really didn't know him like that. But he called himself MC Lair. He just thought he was a beast or something. But he couldn't rap, and that wasn't him. But he got on stage and got booed, so I guess he felt some kind of way. So he sabotaged all the rap acts. So when I looked up and saw that all the singers got to do their act, all the people that did the dancing and everything else was cool. Every time a rap act came, there's just something wrong. The music all of a sudden goes low. The music all of a sudden gets rewound. I mean, it's something. They turn the music down so the rapper can't hear it. Anything. So I was like, I looked up and he was like, this dude in the sound booth. I remember I took off and I had two of my dudes as my childhood friends, Big Wheat and Jazz, and they was right behind me. They said, where is he going? I just took off. And I just made the beeline to the sound stand. And I walked in. I was like, man, you messed my music up. I don't even think he got out his mouth good. Wow. I just hit him. And he hit the ground. And my dude grabbed him by the jacket. And he took off in the air. And I chased him down. And it was like, oh, this dude's serious. Because no matter if we doing this for a talent show, whether I'm doing this in front of 80,000 people or 1 million people, I just always took it serious. Even no matter what rap I did, it could be a funny freestyle, but that freestyle meant something to me because I wanted to be a class act. I just always want people to know that I was business-like. I want to be when I step on stage, there's no videos of me throwing up in the garbage can. There's no videos of me, inappropriate with a woman on stage and I pulled her pants down. None of that. I don't have nothing sexual. Yeah, I'll do the little swivel of the hips when I'm entertaining you, but I don't have anything where we brought guns on stage or, we shooting dice in the back and we beating somebody up as I'm rapping. I want to be a class act because you want to be able to get shows. You want to be able to do business with other people and get bigger and better. So I always wanted to lead by example. You can't just talk it, you got to walk it. And for me, I was just like, I want to be authenticated because I watched so many artists that was fake when I was coming up. And they said they was killers until a real killer showed up. And I've watched dudes get drug off the stage in the middle of their performance. Henceforth, KRS and Prince B, when he snatched him off the stage for he said about KRS. And he said, KRS, you the teacher, but what the teacher or what? So he disrespected that man. That's all that is. So he went and found him and took him off the stage. I mean, he apologized later on as through the growth, but it's a thing that certain things are serious. And people have to realize that all of us don't make silly raps. I don't make Will Smith type of music. I don't make Biz Markie. That's them. Right. But I have a silly side. And everybody knows I'm a comedian in my own right. But when it comes to hip hop, I'm going to be serious. If we freestyle and I could just say a little
I
something,
think,
and I'm gonna be serious. So
I think music, really is something that should always be brought to the forefront in communities because it really helps. When you have somebody out there doing different things with music, it brings everything together. So that's why when I started doing the Brick House Wellness, I kind of started with the Zumba playing music. So to get people's attention,
Right.
and then and then get into the nitty gritty of what's really going on. So that's why I say when I see like people like you and you all are out there, people are listening and they're gravitating to you, and then they're listening for that message as well.
Yes.
And and then when you get out there and do it, it helps bring them together in a way where they can change if they need to be. If they need to be changed.
Yeah, bring them together in ways that nothing else would, would do
Right.
that.
Bring them
together.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, and music always has done that.
That makes them feel
Yes.
good.
Connect in ways that
Right.
that you wouldn't otherwise,
Right.
and things like that. And that's
That's
that's the great thing about music.
Yes.
That's the great thing about
That's why I
It
love
soothes
music.
that soul, that's for sure.
Like I said, I listen to everything, and
Yes.
I mean, when I got into Zumba, listening to Latin music and things of that sort, and all and then when I listen to a lot of the songs, I hear a lot of those beats that a lot of artists, people don't realize that artists, you all are as artists, you hear a different sound than most people. So when you use those certain beats and be like, hey, I heard that in a tribal song, I heard that Latin this, and this is very intricate details and things like that. So music is really, really affects all emotions.
Yes.
All.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
Yeah,
It's an influencer. That it is. 'Cause
Yeah.
It
Right.
strikes emotions, whether mad, sad, angry, depressed, whatever you feeling. And there's something out there for those emotions. And as we talk about people like Prince, Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, all the greats, because their music made you feel something.
Yeah.
Something, whether you was just happy or you just
I
really
know
could
Chris
feel it from
did.
the soul, and you could feel it. Chris made you feel nasty.
Chris
But,
made you feel
yeah,
all
he made
kinds
me-
of ways.
Yeah, he made you feel.
but Prince helped your love life for real.
Oh, yeah.
But he also had other songs that made you feel certain ways too.
Yeah.
He
But
did?
yes,
Oh,
he did.
Yeah, like
No, I'm
you
just
said,
playing.
Like,
I'm just
like,
playing. No, I'm just
like the
playing.
one song, Silent Times.
Oh yeah, Sign of the Times.
Yeah, that's a deep song.
Oh yeah, you just sit back and listen. to it.
Yeah.
Man.
I was in love with
Yeah.
Prince. I'm telling you, I used to be trying to dress. I dressed like Sheila E. I was like, man, I want to meet Prince.
Yeah, Prince had, and then he had people in his band dressing like him.
I know.
Yeah, the Revolution.
Yeah, the Revolution. I see him do with the ruffled shirt. I was
Yeah,
like,
I'm like, whoa.
he in Prince band?
I was like, wait a minute. Okay, yeah.
Dressed like
What's
Prince.
I remember the dude in the
The one
Revolution.
guy, the one
Yeah.
guy that made a lot of songs. His name was Jerome. I can't remember his. And he has the song about I want to be your man. He'd be like, I want to be your man, baby.
What that,
And-
Jelly Bean Johnson, wasn't it?
No, it was a different guy. Let me
So one of the
see.
members of the time.
He wasn't a member at all. I mean, he was a member of the when Prince first came out from
Okay.
the 1999 album.
Okay.
And so,
And I remember the song.
and then he
she's
had a
singing,
song
yeah.
out with Sly from the Family Stone.
Oh,
He had a song out with them. I'm about to look it up. And I used, and my sister was like the biggest Prince person I ever known, because she knew all of, she knew every artist that was connected to him.
Yeah.
And so
I like
this
the Lisa and
Jerome
Wendy.
guy.
I like,
Oh yeah, I love Lisa.
Yeah, I like
Wendy.
Lisa
Yeah, I'm
and
gonna-
Wendy. They
that-
writing and production was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had their own album. A lot of people didn't know they had their own music.
Oh,
that
yeah.
they did. So yeah, they was great.
Let me see.
too.
I want to be your man, baby. Let me see.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that. I remember that song.
Yeah. Especially when it's been so long.
Be your man. Okay, let's see.
I remember that song too.
Damn, where is he
Because I
at?
know Roger gonna pull up somewhere.
Yeah,
you
Roger
know,
Troutman
you know Roger
was
gonna
in-
come up
Yeah.
first.
Yeah,
so.
but it was
But I know what
Jerome.
you're talking. Oh,
I'm gonna take the one. let's see, it was a nice song, but he dressed just like Prince.
Yeah.
You know, he had his hair just like Prince, but he was a darker skinned man. But he was real popular.
Wasn't he the dude that was in Purple Rain that came on before they went out there? The dude with the guitar? Is that him? No, might be thinking of somebody different.
Crazy. And so he has a song called Crazy For You.
Okay.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Here it is. Let's see what it is. Where's this guy at? I can't find him.
Because Prince had put on so many people, man.
Yeah, he did.
Crazy for you. Crazy for you.
Yeah, and I know these songs, man, but I can't.
It's been so long, so you can't escape it a little bit. We know so much music, sometimes that stuff run together.
And his name is Jerome. I can't remember the last name, but let me see. Crazy for You. I'm supposed to put Crazy for You, Jerome, and see what comes up. Because he was popular for a minute, too.
Yeah.
And, by Jerome, let's see. Yeah. No, I know who it is. Jesse Johnson.
Jesse Johnson at the time.
I said
That's what I was
Jelly
thinking.
Bean.
Jesse Johnson. Oh yeah.
Jesse
Oh yeah. And Jesse Johnson. That boy could play.
Jesse was cold.
Oh man, Jesse Johnson.
I knew it was some Johnson. I just
Yeah,
didn't get it right.
Jesse.
Jelly Bean was in the time.
Yeah.
Jesse
And
Johnson.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he was dressed just like Prince.
Yeah. Jesse was. Yep. He was.
With
Yeah.
the purple and everything.
Yes,
This is how he looks right now. That's him.
Jesse Johnson. Man, Jesse.
Oh, wow.
Man. Yeah. Jesse. He don't like he don't like the age.
Look
No.
at the Prince look.
Hey, Jesse aged well.
Yeah, he did.
Jesse aged well.
Sure did.
He did.
And yeah, and he was a hell of a guitar.
Yeah, he was.
Man.
And I said he was trying to look like Prince.
Yeah.
He really was trying to look like Prince. But he was a good. I liked his music too.
Oh yeah, and like I
Definitely
said,
was his protege.
yep, and like I said, definitely hell of a guitarist.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesse Johnson.
So it was Jerome. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, Jerome was in the time.
Yep, they both were in the time. Jesse and Jerome. Yep.
I said, wow. But yeah, I know.
And the time made so many stars because I mean, let's be realistic. Jimmy Jam and Terry
Lewis.
Oh yeah, because they did that whole thing with Janet Jackson.
Yeah, I mean they don't.
And many others. Yeah, they
they
did so much.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, they
awesome.
They are definitely, you know, as far as producers are super producers. Man.
No doubt.
But you know, I want to talk about something. I want to talk real quick about something serious. It's regarding gerrymandering. Have you gentlemen heard of that before?
I've heard that.
Okay.
Like vaguely.
Okay. Well, gerrymandering is a political move that is actually done by, I would say it's invented by two super rich white men.
Okay.
So basically what it is that they're trying to, you know, mark up areas. Like, it's almost like redlining, where they're trying to block certain things off that's just for the rich people. So right now we're in a battle with, you know, I try to stay neutral when it comes to the Republicans and Democrats, because in my mind they all are kind of crooked in some cases. It doesn't matter who they are.
Right.
But the Republican Party, you know, they're trying to get a hold on certain parts of the land, of the area, the districts. So like right now you're on St. Clair.
Right.
And so this is Ward 10.
10.
Okay. So basically what they're trying to do is take like Ward 10, 9, 8, and 7, the long stretch of all of our areas, and block it where they're taking the district. We're under District 11 right now.
Okay.
And I think because you're not really Collinwood.
Right. No, we're not.
Yeah, you're not Collinwood, so you're still District 11.
Yeah.
Collinwood, that's where District 10 starts. But what they're trying to do is take these districts and push the line back or cut them off where, if, say for instance, you need, you know, you have certain services that is provided in the community for, you know, say for instance, pregnant women, or for men that is in, you know, men who trying to get jobs is in the carpentry or something like that. Okay. So the funding that will come for that in regards to schools, that will be ran by Republican people, meaning that we would not count. Like anybody poor or black, brown, living in these communities, they're trying to take the area and make it and gentrify it where it's just more or less funding is coming to them. And then it gives them an upper hand. If you vote, it's giving them an upper hand for people to vote for them and bring those type of people into the community. Like for instance, my area is Huff. Okay, so Huff includes Asiatown.
Yeah.
Okay, so if the gerrymandering works where they recreate the map of the district, Asiatown would not be in our district at all. It would be somewhere all the way on the west side. It'd be considered like a west side district. So that's why, I like to try to educate, even if, in my mind, even if people don't vote for religious reasons or whatever, it doesn't matter. But as long as you know what's going on, you can make a conscious effort to educate other people or if the people that that vote. So my thing is that we really need to educate ourselves in the civics area when it comes to government, because I think right now, somebody was saying I'm kind of like a militant when it comes to that. I am, because I believe in my community, in my black people.
Yes.
And I want us to have everything. I want us to thrive. I don't want us to just be in this survival mode. You know what I'm saying? So every chance I get, I try to get to Columbus, and I'm out there talking about it.
Yeah.
So I just want people to understand that we are in a fight because the 1%ers, they want to take land. They don't want us to have it, and that's why I believe in black people owning or or making sure that they educate themselves on everything that's going on, so they'll know what they need to do.
Yeah, and we have to do that, as we are in a fight.
Yes.
Yeah. And we've been in one.
This ain't nothing new.
Always be a fight.
But as the years go by, it's getting worse and worse.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, like you talking about the gentrification.
Yes.
Look what Cleveland Clinic is doing right now.
Right.
In a few years, they're gonna be up here.
Exactly.
If we don't do something.
Exactly.
Yeah, because they already buying something. If you get to Wade Park right now,
right,
you see where they're at. They're in Wade Park right now.
Right.
And see,
So
and that's
moving.
the thing,
Right.
When Councilwoman Fannie Lewis, when she was alive, that was her thing, that she did not want Cleveland Clinic to cross over Chester at all. And the former council person, which is Dow, he stuck to that, what she wanted. Then when the other one got in, I think they took advantage. Because some of us, we want some money, and they see the fact that, this person, like I said, I don't even want to say him, but it's just it's more than him. It's other ones too. Like you have Harrison, right?
Yeah.
And then there's Conwell. A lot of these, I don't per se know what Harrison is doing. I mean, I've talked to him on one occasion regarding the gas station.
Yeah,
with the girl. But I know a lot of people talk negative about Conwell and how he is helping to gentrify a lot of things.
I've heard whispers.
Yes. So
I've heard whispers.
So a lot of times, once they get caught up in this I call it like a big web of deceit, and it's gentrifying the community.
Yeah. Right.
It's taking from it's taken from the black people that live in these communities.
Yeah.
And they don't put enough businesses in the community for us.
Right.
And we need to have, we need to more, a lot of these council people or political people, they need to focus more on getting community benefits. And community benefits help people like you and me, make us be able to get positions within the community, like contractors. That's why they was downtown. I don't know if you guys saw it, but it was downtown. Matter of fact, Al Porter and Art McCoy was down there. the contractors, Sherwin-Williams,
Okay.
don't want to give contracts to black folks.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So that's all part of the gentrification situation, and it's including now the gerrymandering is part of it. I mean, it's always been part of it. But every year they had a 10-year plan, and and that's why it's getting pushed and pushed and pushed. And I feel that as a black person, that we need to get more involved. And I try not to be what you would call political, but people need to understand everything here is political.
Yeah, everything.
The water is political.
Everything, no matter what it is.
Yes.
Everything. So it's like either you are or you aren't. You know, but it's like when it finally comes down, if you haven't helped,
you can't say anything.
No.
Like, what's the point? And right now it's another, we have these House bills that are up, from the state. And what they're trying to do in certain House bill is control us. Like, we have like the critical race theory. That is where they're trying to convince people that the critical race theory will create racism, will create problems. What it will create is a group of black folks that'll be enlightened and understand. They don't want it in the schools. So these white Republicans, it's not the black ones, it's the white Republicans, they're trying to stop it. And by saying, oh, it's going to create horrible things, and they don't want us to know our history.
No, they don't. There it is. They want to teach us his story.
Yes, exactly.
And yeah.
And so that's why, I'm just so, like I said, I was kind of like not into this before, but with my eyes open to see, I'm more in tune to it and now, to what's really going on. And it's like, and I always say, because, I'll tell you something, I grew up like as a Jehovah's Witness, but, they don't vote. And my thing is, it's okay if you don't vote, but be aware. And if you know somebody that do vote, give them that information and educate them.
Yeah.
Because, I'm no longer a witness, but, I still live by a lot of their, their rules or, some of them.
Their ideologies.
Yes. I live by some of those, like the pagan holidays and things like that. But yet and still, I know as a black woman that I have to let my voice be heard to educate other people, whether it be men, women, children, to educate them to know that we have a voice and we need to stand up and not allow them to do these things to us.
Right.
And we just, a lot of us is kind of like, nah, but it's important. That critical race theory they're trying to make it into something that is not. It's about educating us. It's about letting young black youth understand who they are. Yeah, and that also is a thing that will help build self-esteem.
Right.
Because a lot of us grew up low self-esteem.
Yes, right.
A lot of us grew up with this PTSD because of what's going on in our community.
Yeah.
So my thinking is that the best way to do things is to learn. Education, like KRS, education is the key of everything. Everything. It's like, our kids in the school system and everything, the stuff that they teach them, like these tests, most of these tests are culturally biased. Yes, they are.
They're culturally biased. You know what I'm saying? Only thing that's really universal is the math and the English.
Exactly.
And
everything, we created that.
Everything else,
Right.
everything else, I feel don't have no bearing on life.
No.
If somebody asked me, no, people have asked me. They said, "Did public school prepare you for life?" No, it didn't. I got out there and I learned by doing.
Right.
My life was trial and error.
Experiencing things.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
I think a lot of our who have gone through that. And my thing is, I think about when you mention the schools, that's so important because I I fight with the school. When they see me coming, like, oh boy, here she come. But you're not gonna give my boys anything and think I'm gonna look at it and say, oh, whatever. I was like that with my daughter. And it's like I took her out of public schools. I did. And she was being trained in a different type of setting. Because I didn't believe in the public school, because to me they do not teach our kids what they need to know.
They don't.
They don't prepare them for life.
They set them up for failure.
Yes, they
actually.
do. They do.
They set them up for failure.
I looked at that 3rd grade guarantee test, and then I look at the work that the kids are working on. They don't even go together. It's like an oxymoron.
Yeah, it don't make no sense.
No,
It don't make no sense.
So how do you expect for a kid to do this, to pass a 3rd grade guarantee test, but the work is not showing that it's, with that.
Right.
So that's my thing. And then on top of that, they're quick to put our children on IEPs.
Man.
And some people, and I heard somebody say, oh, I love IEPs. They're great. No, it hinders them.
It hinders them.
Especially if they don't have the right teacher or it has to be somebody that really, really cares about educating.
They've always tried to, when it comes to us, and let's just be real with it. When it comes to black people, they always got this thing, they too hyper. Let's slow them down. Let's give them a pill. Let's inject them. Let's do this and do that and do this, because they don't want us to be bright. Right. They don't want us to be sharp, because we're naturally bright and sharp in our own rights. Right. All we just need is just a little fine tuning. But we born packaged.
Exactly.
We born with a survival kit, because our natural instincts kick in any way that you put us.
Yeah, they know that.
And they always want to put us in this box. I always remember being in school and sitting in gym class, and I remember the gym teacher said, all right, everybody in the group move forward. I was still sitting there. So he looked over and saw me, so I guess he was just like, okay, let me say it again. Everybody in the group move forward. I was still sitting there. Hey, Ron, that means you too. I said, I ain't part of the group. I said, group is not on my birth certificate. What do you what do you mean? What do you mean? You said everybody in the group move forward. You didn't say us as a class. You didn't say us as human beings, or you didn't say, can y'all come here, please? You said everybody who's in the group. I'm not in a group. So, what is that? And he still didn't get it. He's looking, so he called my mother. Oh, he's trying to be funny. He was a disruption of the class. He stopped others from learning. That's the popular one. He stopped others from learning. They stopped what they were doing to watch him and see this, and your son is too strong and this and that. I remember at 14, they told me, we went to the racist school, and she was like, well, you too black for this school, so can you tone it down some? Excuse me?
Oh, that's
kind
of crazy.
Then the superintendent came out the office. Yeah, you is, because, your blackness is starting to rub off. I'm 14. I'm looking around like, is this somebody else standing behind me?
Are you serious?
I'm like, are you serious? I said, what do you mean? They said, well, your influence is just too big, and you just as. I said, well, here's the thing. I said, let's break it down. I said, really, to be honest, I'm the only black kid that's outspoken. I'm the only black kid that stood up for what he believed in. And when I wanted to be for the talent show, they said, we don't let blacks in the talent show.
Oh, really?
I said, well, they said nothing black has ever been in our talent show. Whoa. I said, who you talking to?
Did they actually say that?
They actually said that. They said, we're old.
Oh, my mama at first,
because I said, I want to say, because when I came up,
my nana,
she could flip her lid. And what was so crazy, because when he first said it, he was like, he said something like, sports is down the hall. I said, I'm not signing up for sports. I said, I'm signing up for the talent show. He said, oh. He said, what do you possess? I said, hip hop. He said, some of that jargon, cult music you have. I said, what? He said, we don't let black.
That teacher would have been done.
So I said, okay. So I went to superintendent's office. I went over his head and went to the head of the board of education. Got to talking. The guy said, what? The head guy said, what? He said, come with me. When he said, I want to know why his name is not on this board right here. Oh, I just thought he was trying to be funny. He is a disruptive student. Huh? Really?
Wow.
So, I signed up. We do the talent show. They got a rock band was on stage for 5 minutes, got booed. The whole 5 minutes, nobody liked these kids. They did not like them at all. Thought they was horrible. I did hip hop, got my props. They gave it to the rock band, knowing I won, but they gave it to the rock band. A teacher, I mean, not even teacher, parent. What? This BS. He took his chair and he threw it at the judge. They wanted to suspend me for inciting a riot. They said my music incited the riot that provoked the man to throw the chair. I said, do you really hear yourself? You sound some kind of retarded. That doesn't even go together. I'm a kid. What do you mean? I influenced this grown man like
to throw a chair.
My mother would have been up there in a heartbeat, creating drama.
You know, and that's when I knew. Then I was like, "You scared of my presence." You know,
but
and I remember,
but they fear us anyway.
Yeah, that's what I was
going to
say.
Anyway,
we that's what I was
because I
today,
just didn't allow stuff.
When I was at that rally and we were talking, you know, I got up and I spoke and I told him, I said, "Don't you know what you possess?
Right.
We have power. We have melanin in our skin, and that is our power.
Right.
Do you understand how much power you really have?"
Correct.
And you know, that is crazy. It makes me, when you mention that, about that, I never forget, I at a young age, and this had nothing to do with religion, but I would never pledge allegiance to the flag. And so it used to be so like, Delores Gray, you're not standing up. And then they sent me to the office, and then they called my mother. I'm gonna say, no, she not pledging allegiance to no flag, and you better not make her. And if you hit my daughter, I'm coming up there, you know, because. And it used to be every time we had a pledge of allegiance, they would send me to the office. I said, I'm not pledging allegiance. I used to just sit there. I'm not putting my hand over my heart for a flag, you know, because that's just, as a kid, I was thinking, like, that doesn't make sense. Yeah. I don't serve a flag.
Right.
That's a form of symbolism.
I had quoted something in sociology, and it had to do with the flag and how I felt about it. And it's something that I found, that I heard, and that I quoted. And I said, Huey P. Newton was shot in cold blood in East Oakland. I said, a girl named Tawana was brutally raped. I said, but two fools said she did it to herself. I said, a $60 million stealth bomber refuses to fly successfully, and you say I should be proud of this song. Think about it, America. All black kids, they went crazy. Man, did I ever get it. I was facing expulsion.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I know I don't. Yeah. I mean, I was like that as a child. My mother,
I can't, no.
My mother was like, you were radical when you were a kid.
Yeah.
You know?
And then, you know, that didn't stop me, because I really started dissecting the Star Spangled Banner. I said, do you know that is a very violent song?
It's racist.
Yes, it's racist and violent.
Yes.
And
bombs bursting in
air. Yeah, red rockets glare.
That could never be nothing positive.
No.
So where do you get that we supposed to be proud of?
I want to be around on bombs bursting in air.
I've never seen a bomb bust and they say, oh, that's studio sexy. Like, no, that's not. Nothing sexy.
It's more like
a bomb going on.
More like, look out! You know what I'm saying?
Here comes a bomb.
Here comes a bomb, you know.
Right.
Oh, is it that time again? No,
man, for real. And
no.
Yeah.
And, that is crazy.
Run for your life. That's sexy. No, it's not. No.
Right.
No, Duck, or it's Barbecue City. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It don't
That's awful.
It don't make sense. You know, and we always, you know, they always want to glorify the nonsense. Yeah. You know, because let's face it, you know, America's always been violent, but you get mad at us for what little bit you think that we did.
Right.
You know, but at the end of the day, you know, they're responsible for more violence than anything on this planet.
America
they got videotapes of them riding in bulldozers, just taking skeletons. And this is the Holocaust. They got bulldozers on film where they just scooping up all these dead people, like skeleton, and they just dumping them in a hole. They it's scooping them up and they dumping them. I saw this as a kid. They scooping them, and it's just all these bodies. But see, the thing would make me mad is this. Somebody said, you speak on a lot of stuff, and because I said I was going to name a mixtape, Lyrical Holocaust. So, of course,
Yeah.
Some people were unearthed.
Some people, yeah.
Some Jews got mad at me.
Oh, yeah, they got
Some
mad.
people
Wow.
started to spew some stuff. And they was like, hey, man, that ain't funny. It's that other man, because, 6 million Jews died in the Holocaust. I said, well, let's put it like this.
That's
If we gonna go there, 6 million Jews lost their lives in the Holocaust. 30 million blacks lost their lives in the Holocaust. But when they talk about the Holocaust, they only speak about the Jews.
Right.
Because they say that's a Jewish destruction. Okay, but you never mention the part with
Right.
us that got slaughtered, a part with the Holocaust. They
Yeah,
just
we're
act
a
like
part
with
of
no
that.
blacks
Yeah.
back then or something. Like we just didn't get slaughtered. Huh?
Oh,
Like,
he just nothing just
Yeah,
happened.
we were
Nothing
definitely
happened to
part of
us.
Nothing happened to us. Oh, you went down there, you guys had a few little things. No, it didn't. No, we've been slaughtered too. So don't act like that. The Indians been slaughtered. Let's put that
Yes.
together. Let's speak on
And
that.
the
How you
Indians
killed
got
off a
slaughtered
whole-
and robbed.
Yes,
robbed.
yes.
And robbed.
Right, because your forefathers was cradle robbers. So y'all ain't built nothing. Y'all was thieves.
That's amazing how they
So-
took the land and then only issued them out a little small portion and they have a reservation. Come on.
Right. How the
Right.
hell you do
And
that?
then they took the grave sites of the Indians and built buildings over top of the grave sites. So certain buildings that we go into, is people buried under
yeah.
those buildings. So some of those
Sacred
people can't even
grounds.
go to the cemetery
Right.
to visit their loved ones because their loved ones is up under some slab. Because they done built buildings right on top of
That's
the
terrible.
grave sites that they put together, that they killed and made grave sites for them, and then put building over top of it to try to hide all the secrets. Because they're good for hiding
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
Right.
So then all of a sudden when we unearth it and we find out about it, then they go, oh, well, I don't know. I wasn't back then. Oh, yeah, now you want to act like you don't know. Huh? You want to play dumb now. But when it happens to one of them, they, this is a travesty of misjustice. Oh, I can't believe this.
yeah,
Bill, I'm just so irate with these things that's going on. I can't believe it. Oh, my God. Oh, shoot, well, we've been going through it since birth.
Right.
Welcome to the club. They will sacrifice their own to get one of us locked up.
Oh, yeah.
Or get rid of us or try to calm me down. That's the whole thing. And I get that some things can be scary, but the scariest thing is to not fight. And I always told that, and I teach my kids that if you standing on something, go all the way with it, especially if you got people behind you.
Yeah.
When you in the right, and I said that word, when you in the right, that's God's work. When you in the right, no matter what transpires, if something violent comes out of that, if you started it off and you was in the right, and a riot ensued, but the riot ensued because it was right. See, I don't have no problem with that. When we go in and we spend our hard-earned money, I remember staying on Superior and somebody came to me and said, hey, it's a guy abusing kids. What do you mean? Hey, it's this guy has a store. He's disrespectful to kids. I said, well, what do you mean?
Oh, wow.
So when I went up there to investigate, come to find out it was a little boy. His mother was on drugs. He's a little kid. He don't understand what drug usage is and stuff like that, but he's hungry. His mother took the money and got high with it or paid the bills and wasn't nothing left for him, whatever the case was. He just knew that this particular store, I could go and probably get me something to eat. Which, he couldn't go order nothing out of a restaurant, but, a store got bags of chips sitting out, so he think maybe I'll steal a bag of chips. He went in there, he's on camera, he's getting a bag of chips. I guess he was going to walk away, but I guess his conscience got the best of him. He takes the chips, he puts the chips back. As he turns around, the guy owner happened to see him take the chips and put them back. He didn't see all the stuff that went into it in the beginning. So he seen him look around, because the boy looked around and then he just threw the chips back. So he said, hey, what you doing? So the boy was already scared. As he's leaving out, he took a battery and threw it and hit the boy in the back of the head.
Oh, wow.
So you get this little girl, she come in and she hungry. So she took a bag, chips, and she put it in her little pocket and started to walk off. Hey, he grabbed the little girl, slammed her all up against the wall, took her by her ponytail and slammed her head into the wall, bust the girl lip. Girl couldn't have been no more than about 8 or 9. So when they tell me about this, I said, well, we got to shut this down because we can't have this. So everybody got to protest. And you got people over there and they, and eventually dude had to go. But at the end of the day, people said, well, that was a good thing, and I'm glad you put the light on it, and you started the ball rolling, and you did this, that, but I said, but see, this comes from those before me fought. They said, what you mean? I said, because when we had our own, we sold stuff to people too, because I remember some blacks that sold their stores to them people. And they was just like, well, I started my business with 5,000. He's offering me 40 grand. So that's a come up. Oh, well,
wow.
I'll take the store. Okay, now that's the same store that the Arabs have in our community. But now y'all complaining because the Arabs in the community. But he sold the store to the man to allow them to come here and make money and take it back to their country and refinance their country. Every time you turn around, they getting off of us. Then you got brainwashed ones in the game that's going, ain't no sense to be getting mad for real. And you shouldn't act like that. And the protest only messes up stuff. I got to go to work in the morning. And the third, I said, well, I'll put it to you like this here. Since you are so upset about what's being done to blacks, I said, well, let's break it like this. Some years ago, they put a big announcement, and a lot of people didn't pay attention. They said China, for the very first time in the whole dynasty of China, their government is finna fall. You ain't never known China to have money problems to the point where they said their government is getting ready to relapse. Guess how the government got back on top and refinanced their whole government? What's the one thing that most women go and buy? Hair.
Right.
So they came here and set up shop.
Yep.
And they sold hair. They said the Chinese have sold enough hair to where they refinanced their government 5 times over. That means that government will never fall ever. If we died twice and came back, they still will be in great standing. And they refinanced their government just by hair. I didn't say the lashes. I didn't say the lipstick. I didn't say the perfume. I said
that's what they
hair.
The hair.
You see what I mean? Yeah. Now they done sat back and made money off us. We didn't get a dime. We don't invest enough to that because we think small. And my thing is this. Somebody said, well, you mad at somebody that own their own business? No, I'm not mad at their own business. But my thing is this. We need other things too. I ain't mad at the person that sell hair. I ain't mad at the barbershop. I'm not mad at the salon. I'm not mad at the people that cook. But why do it only got to be the cook, the barbershop, the hair salon, and it stops right there? It don't never be where somebody else come and do something and they look at them like they corny. What do you mean? Because I don't open up a barbershop, I'm considered corny? Because I don't sit back and do the norm that us as blacks is supposed to be? But if I open up a knowledge or a music shop, you got something to say. Or if I teach the kids, a mentoring program, he probably trying to slick them kids. Instead of coming to investigate where we can build together or something, you quick to be like, he corny. He doing that for a pat on the back. But because I didn't open up a barbecue spot, but because I didn't do hair, I thought outside the box and I said, well, let's get with the problems that we need. And I'm saying that to say this. Before Ernie Smith, shout out to Ernie, before he came and did the OPN thing, there's a video of him back in the day, had a box with just goodies. Kids that's hungry from school would come by, get some goodies. All of a sudden, the police pull up. Well, we teaching the kids don't take nothing from strangers. He said, I ain't out here just doing nothing malicious. He said, some of these kids is hungry. Some of these kids haven't eaten since earlier today. He said, I'm not charging them. I'm not in their house. I'm not nothing. I'm just trying to help. I got some stuff that's just sitting in my house. Letting it spoil don't make no sense when I can give it to somebody who's hungry. They went round and round. 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 Then eventually they just walked off and then they just left. Then they came back again and they kept doing the same thing. And I say that to say this because the same thing that he did, I was the same person that used to be on the back of the buses when I sat back and used to make sandwiches for the kids. I got put off the bus by RTA security. I didn't make a dime. Wow. They sat back and said, well, you need to have a license. I said, a license for what? He said, because you sitting up here providing a business. I said, what business is you talking about? Well, you have to have a vendor's license. First of all, having a vendor's license means I was selling something. I ain't sold nothing on the back of this bus. So prove to me where I made a profit off the back of this bus. I'm sitting up here making sandwiches on a bumpy ride, spilling mustard all over myself and making up sandwiches. I used to make up little bags for kids that when they get out of school. And I say, look here. I say, take this home to your mama. And I would have stuff and I would hand it out. Somebody went and said, hey, he making money. He getting paid on these buses. So all of a sudden now I got police looking for the man that's in the back of the bus with the sandwiches. He must be doing something to the little kids. Let's find the brown paper boy. So now I'm the brown paper bag boy. Let's find the brown paper bag boy.
Wow.
The brown paper bag boy. Okay, I'm the brown paper bag boy. What's the problem? Oh, you have to have a vendor's license. Oh, you're soliciting. You're on RTA. You're being disrespectful. Huh? I'm not selling. I didn't even earn a product. What? Say this again. I said, but you the police, right? I said,
That's
so you're supposed to keep the
remarkable.
order, right? He said, yes. My job is to keep order and make sure everything is great and this, that, the other. I said, well, here's my thing. Why do the women keep getting raped at 1:30 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning in well-lit areas on your watch? Didn't you work at the times when these women was getting raped? Oh, we will have to look into that. Basically, that's not basically my problem. And I'm on my job. By golly, I do the best that I can do. And, But you couldn't stop that, right? I'm trying to stop some hunger.
Well,
That's all I'm trying to do. I said, but now you make me be wrong. I said, here's the thing. What would you rather do? Me sit back and give them something free to where they can eat? Or would you rather the kid be in the store and he's stealing and he go to rob with a pistol and put everybody's life in danger and get money that way? And you got to do paperwork and you can't be home with your wife to have dinner at a decent time. Yeah. How about that? He said, you know what? You have a nice day, sir. And he got his butt off the bus. And everybody looking at me going, Dad, you shut him up. I said, I'm showing you this. I didn't have to get riled up with him. I didn't have to go toe-to-toe with this dude. But at the end of the day, I spoke with some sense. And it was what God's work. All that I'm doing is feeding people that was hungry.
Oh, kids getting, we
know,
got wrapped
so-
this up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And,
So,
the battery life is getting,
Oh my goodness.
So before we even go,
That was her fault.
don't blame her.
No, don't blame me.
But before we go, is there any closing remarks you want to have and let people know what you're doing? And
Yes. Well, starting October, I will have a space where I'll do my program, which is called Brick House Women's Wellness. And, we're going to be teaching on 7 elements of wellness, which would be environmental, spiritual, social, intellectual. Let me see. What's the other ones? Social. I have to look it up sometimes because I can't remember.
That's all right.
Yeah, but it's what I'm doing is basically empowerment of women to build their self-esteem up. Because I've noticed that when, a lot of women who are envious and jealous of others, they always have low self-esteem themselves. Yeah. And so it's about building up women in the community and working with the men as well that's in the community that we can, do something to empower our communities. And when he mentioned about businesses, we need more Black businesses in regards to the hair stores, things of that sort. Because there's a process that these people go through. They get money, because they came over here. So we have to learn about the finances and how we need to, deal with this. So that's one of the elements. Okay. So I'm basically we'll have a whole program and working in that area, and like I said, I partner with a lot of different people, and to come and be involved because this is all about us. It's not a me. Yeah. It's all of us. It's a team. Yes. And when you partner with different groups who have the same like mind, I think we could get things done. Yes. And build the community up and help. It's about community benefits. And also on the 2nd of October, I will be at the annual Women's March, which will be usually managed by Kathy Ray Coleman. She is, and shout out to her because she's always want to make sure somebody's but anyway, she's a powerful woman when she gets this women's march together every year. So we're going to have a lot of women come out and men. And I would like to invite you all to come out to support too, because it's all about us. It's not like I said, it's not a me thing. I am not, we could be have self-care but not be selfish. Yeah. Right. So that it's been a pleasure being on here too.
Before you go, is there You want to tell them where they can follow you?
Oh yeah, you can follow me on Facebook under Delores Gray, or you can also go to Brick House Wellness, which is on Facebook as well. And if you have any questions or you want to get involved with my organization, you can reach me by emailing me at Delores G Ford. That's DELORES, G like in girl, Ford at gmail.com. And I'll be glad to speak with you further, and and to connect you with any resources that you may need, and and if you can want to volunteer and work with us, we are always open for everyone.
Hey, this has been one of the best shows ever.
Yeah.
This has been one of the best shows to date.
Epic, yeah.
I want to thank you for coming
Yes.
by.
Yeah,
Really appreciate you coming.
Yes, I'm happy to be here.
Right, and
Always welcome. Come back.
Always. You want to come back? You're more than welcome.
Okay, great. I've had a great time. We did talked about music,
Yes,
politics,
everything. We chewed the fat.
Yeah, we did.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
And that's what it's about.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, on that note, we will see you again next week. This has been the BKL Sessions. I'm your host, Eric Magnus.
Mr.
Ronnie B.
Yes, sir.
And hey everybody, stay safe,
Yes.
stay blessed, and above all, outwork everybody.
Damn, son, this beat is lit.
Another major